Thank you for recording. I have my two panelists with me. One is Albert Kimani. He'll say hi. And the other one is Nyambura Shanice. She will also introduce herself in both what they do. And then we are going to go on so we can have an introduction from our two panelists. Before that, let me have a concrete introduction for myself. My name is Irene Mwangi. I'm your talent experience manager at Powerland Project. And what I do is I oversee the post-learning initiatives from Powerland Project, that is the employment and entrepreneurship programs. So we have just starting, or we are just launching our startup support program, which will be running for the next 2 months. You will learn more about it. And I'll be your go-to-go person. And we have our two panelists who will be guiding us through the project and telling us what to expect and what it is all about. So over to you, Albert. We can start.
Thank you so much, Irene. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Albert with the Programs and Strategy Department at Powerland Project, currently in Nairobi, Kenya. Good to see all of you interested to kick off your journey building startups, building solutions that will solve some of the pressing challenges being faced by the continent broadly. Irene, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. We can hear you, Albert.
Okay, thank you. Happy to be here on this forum. I think we can also have a quick introduction from Nyambura.
Nyambura.
Thank you so much, Irene. My name is Nyambura Shani. I am an advocate of the High Court. Currently the principal legal counsel of Powerland Project and the managing partner at Shani and Company Advocates. Apart from legal, I am a wife, a mother, and I'm passionate about startups. So I'm really happy to be here just to see how I can support you guys. And, I hope it will be a learning session for all of us. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much, Nyambura. Thank you, Albert, for the introduction, and to our participants, the ones still continuing to join us. As you have seen, all the call was for startups support of all the people who have gone through our program, and would just like to know in the comment section or the Q&A or the chat, what excites you most about the journey of startup, because I am sure everyone who is in this call is aspiring to know what it takes to develop one startup or a startup, or they already have a startup and they would like to know more. So we are different faces, or they have an idea and they would want it to go out there. So let's see what excites you, what is your expectation. So let's see what you expect from this. Other than that, moving forward, we'll be having today's objective. This call or this webinar is basically to tell you more about our program as PLP, what we are looking to achieve, what we are looking to help you with, because it is ours, but we want you to benefit out of this program, and also the legal expectations or what is your responsibility as a person who wants to join this program? What is our responsibility as Powerland Project? What should be the program all about? What do you expect? Probably some of you are eager to know, will we be getting funding? Will we be getting our MVPs done? What is it all about? So you are about to know all that, to get to understand, and also be able to register for the program. So over to you, Albert. You are first person to take us through.
Yeah, thank you so much, Erin.
Before, do I need to share or you go ahead without me presenting?
I think you can just click forward once you're
Okay.
through. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you once again. We are excited about the Alumni Startup Support Initiative. It comes on the background of our key focus areas or outcome areas for why we started the Powerland Project training skilling program. So we have three core outcomes for what we foresee as the outcomes as the learners graduate. That is one, you should be able to upskill. That is continue with your skilling journey because these 16 weeks, we are very, very aware that it's not enough for you to be at the level of a software engineer. That still takes upwards of 18 months of learning and practicing your coding skills. So one of our goals is for you to be able to continue learning. That's why this program aim is to lower that barrier into entry into the tech field. So the second one is employment or internships. Most of you have been able to get on with that without our direct support. Others have been able to get some of those opportunities from our talent office led by Irene. So we're also keen on undertaking projects, and there are a couple of initiatives and partnerships in the works to ensure us that we are able to scale access to short-term projects that you would be able to really build your profile within this tech career space. And thirdly, and this is where we arrive at the Startup Support Initiative, is for us to be able to support you to turn the projects you submitted as part of the completion of the learning from prototypes or from paper startups into actual startups where you're trying to validate some of those solutions you presented as part of your completion of the program into actual businesses or actual solutions that are being used by the communities, by people who are in need of some of these solutions. And so that is the broader objective of these initiatives, is to transform your ideas from paper to actual businesses. How do we get you from the prototype you submitted or the pitch decks to actually engaging with actual users to be able to turn those projects into actual businesses? And that is where now we kick off the boot camps. So how we see these boot camps, we are going to focus on one, skills and tools. We don't foresee this being a lengthy engagement. We are going to support you with maybe 3 sessions coming September to see how well that will translate in you being able to transition your startups or your prototypes into actual businesses. So we are going to give you the skills and the tools to transition the startups from paper startups to actual startups that are actually engaging with customers, clients, and users. So remember why we need to do that. There are lots and lots of accelerator and incubator programs, but in most of them, they usually like to see businesses or programs or idea stage or early stage startups that have already gotten traction, either by users on the user side. You have a couple of users using your product, even if they're not paying, or you actually have users that are actually paying. So there are most that are what you call post revenue, and others are post traction, where the traction in this case are users. So the goal and the main objective of this is to transition you from paper to fields where you're actually onboarding users and customers on your platforms, and they're accessing some of these solutions that you conceptualized during your learning journey. So core topics, startup fundamentals, learning something about business models. We are going to go back and try to figure out the product market fit. This is you trying to understand, really diving deep into the problem that you're trying to solve, because all startups solve a problem. And we want you to be able to understand what that problem is so that you're able to tweak and transform your solution to better fit a near perfect solution to the problem that users can be able to engage with. So beyond that, remember, our goal is to get you or increase your chances of getting into some of these programs that exist to support startups. I think there are thousands of them across the continent, and we'd like to increase your chances in getting to those programs, as we are looking for partners for us to be able to handle that in-house. And even if we handle that in-house, we might not be able to serve everyone. So we need you to be in a position to access some of those opportunities and resources within the ecosystem. So we are going to give you tools for you to be able to start that journey if you're really into that journey, startup journey, and for you to get that traction, for you to get into some of these programs. So at the end of the day, I would like to see how you pitch, how you develop a deck or a pitch deck at an idea stage, because remember, at this stage, you want people to believe in the solution. So we need you to show that you really, no one else in this continent understands the problem more than you, and no one else in this continent is better placed to provide that solution more than yourself. So that is what these 3 sessions seek to accomplish before the end of next month, September. And we are going to see what that looks like across 2025 as we intensify this program. We would have at the end of those 3 days a demo day where some of the top brilliant startups would get to interact with ecosystem players. These will be angel investors, accelerator program managers, other tech ecosystem players, as you pitch or you talk through your solutions or your startups, potential startups, for you to start getting that used to talking to players who eventually you end up talking to once you get to that stage. And I think broadly, in summary, that's what we want to accomplish. And I think, Irene, I don't know whether we take questions right now or we take them at the end of it.
Okay, I think we can take, thank you, Albert, we can take questions. But I have a question. So during the program, the question might arise, am I required to pay anything, or how does it look like? Am I supposed to contribute anything to join your program?
So this initial one is offered as a scholarship again, or you're not expected to pay. But the consecutive ones, we might see what that looks like to get that commitment from participants. To show, and mostly is to show that you're committed or you really, really need this sort of support from us.
Okay, and so there's a pitch. I see there's a pitch competition. So that means not everyone who joins the bootcamp all will be able to make to the demo day. Is that correct? Or is it everyone?
So what we'll do after the 3 days, we are going to ask you to submit your pitch decks. We are going to make the selections and the scoring criteria very transparent. And that sort of scoring sheet will be shared with all participants just to increase the transparency of this program. So we are going to invite a couple of judges who are going to go through the pitch decks. That will be independent from the PLP team, and they will be able to somehow select the top or the brilliant ideas they think could make sense, to join some of their, programs. So the judges will be from startup, so from accelerators and incubator programs, just to see who would be, some of the top candidates to get onto some of these programs. And that will be made very, very transparent.
Okay. So at the end of it, so I'm joining the program. What will I get out of it? I've been I have been given the chance. I've gotten up to the demo day. So what will be the main expectation, or what will I gain out of that?
So what you'll gain is one, skills to grow a startup, to start a startup. And remember, some of the most brilliant startups that are existing right now, if you go back and look at the, the founders and the co-founders, these are guys who have started and failed. So one of the things that you're going to learn is how do you go from paper to actual business? How do you go from, from the prototype to the startups? And the interesting thing is we have a huge community, close to 15,000. And this is where we want to utilize this community to get you some of the users of your platforms, and would support you to do that. So we want the team that goes through this to be able to access, alpha, do you call them alpha and beta testers of your platform? You can easily get 200 to 500 users driven from our side to your platform for you to test the, fit for use or product market fit of some of the solutions that you've conceptualized. Second, beyond that, would have access to all these tools and know how to use these tools. One, would like you to understand the problem better. We did a pilot last year with a couple of startups in Nairobi, just to see where most of the people were as they are graduating. And the feedback or the findings were that, one, the graduates or the owners of some of these prototypes did not really intimately understand what the problem is. And that is one of the critical things that you need to do as a startup founder. No one should be able to understand a problem better than you. Second, you're going to be given, so understanding the problem is mostly research. You'd go back and we'll give you tools to undertake some of this research for you to try understand the problem, understand those who are affected, who eventually will be your users, so that you can be able to build or better tweak the initial prototype for product market fit. Second, you get to learn about MVPs after you've understood the problem and the use as well. How now do you develop an MVP that solves the basic aspects of that problem, and your users or customers will be willing to pay initially for them to access that solution. That's what you're looking, some of the outcomes from these bootcamp. Beyond that, you're going to learn, you still get to learn how to pitch idea stage businesses or very, 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 very early stage businesses. And you get a feeling of what that looks like, what success looks like at that stage.
Okay. So I think there's a question here that since it's targeting the last part, from Nelson, he is asking, is there any funding expected at the end of the program?
Currently, we do not have any funding expected, but what we have are all these bootcamps and accelerator programs asking us to second some of the startups or some of the prototypes within our cohorts or within the community. And it becomes very hard to recommend someone because we know some of these gaps, and even if we second you to some of those programs, you might not be able to, sorry about that, to be successful or find them valuable at the stage at which you're getting in. So what happens in place of funding is for us seconding you to some of the programs across the continent.
Okay. I think that's nice. So I think I also want to emphasize on this aspect of the whole boot camp. It's for you to be able, you see that idea, you have someone can sit with you and scrutinize it and just typically just tell you an honest opinion, tell you where to improve, what to improve on, will this work, how can you pivot, like those are the things that we are looking to guide you through so that you can be able to know, is my idea actually viable? Who are your competitors? Who else is doing this out there in the market? So, and if I go today, if I put my product here with them, will I be able to buy to get users? So the other thing is, even as we start, we have to know that failure is inevitable. Failure happens in startups. For me, I like giving an example with me. So if you are going to join the bootcamp, you find me, I'll use my failed example. I have failed in the startup industry. I've gone, it has made money, but it has failed. So we are going to use different people, different aspect, mentorship. So when you come here, you get also mentorship. So it is not just a matter, you can have the funds, yes, but the process also matters. You have the fund, but even how to utilize. You'll be taken through the financial aspect, how you do the revenue models and everything. So it is a whole program where you get the skills, as you say, the skills are more into detail so that you don't fail. And if you fail, you know how to come back. So failure should not put you down. So on that aspect, I think, Albert, thank you for that. In every program, I know the startup is very sensitive. The startup ecosystem is very sensitive. I've had, thank you for the people who have joined from Nigeria. And some of the things that we had a challenge with the project was like the fear. Even here in Kenya, we know people, the fear of, when I pitch my idea, like it will be stolen. It will go, I will find it somewhere else. So imagine this is a program you're coming, will have access to your ideas, you have to your everything. So how do we protect you? Also, so what is the legal aspect around this program, so that even when you're coming in, you feel protected, you feel your idea is safe, you feel this is a space that I'm coming to run and did acquire more. And then what are your obligations? So let me not dilute what our legal expertise is going to tell us. And actually, one of the benefits of the program is our legal counsel and our tech department also in the development of MVP. We have different people who will be able to help you just evaluate. So before I go to the other person who asked a question about the whole program, so I'll give our legal counsel a chance to go on. Nyambura, over to you.
Thank you so much, Irene, and thank you so much for this opportunity to be part of the startup program. There's a maxim in law that says that ignorance is not a defense. You see how we have so many laws and so many legal principles and whatever legal you can think about. In law, we usually assume that you cannot go to court and say, I did not know. So ignorance is not a defense. So even when you're starting a startup, when you're getting into agreements, when you're getting into arrangements, it's important that you always remember that if you don't know something, you cannot go to court and say, I did not know. You are expected to know, you are expected to understand. And being an entrepreneur, it is important that you understand what does the legal landscape look like as far as legalities are concerned. So one of the biggest challenges that tech startups usually have is on issues of intellectual property, on issues of contracts, and definitely compliance. Now, just to give you some confidence that even as you start our startup program, we have documents and contracts in place that ensure that whatever it is that you share with us as Powerland, as we walk this journey together, your ideas are protected. And just because you've disclosed or shared with us or we've helped you develop the ideas does not mean that we own the ideas. So please have the confidence of knowing that you're not only coming to just, we are here to help you. We are not here to take your ideas. We know you guys have brilliant, amazing ideas. We really can't wait to interact and just, get wowed. So all those brilliant ideas, they're protected. You will sign contracts that will protect you and also will protect Powerland. So please be at ease, be comfortable, and be confident in Powerland. So when we look at the legal landscape, especially in tech, one of the most common things, the basics, assuming you have gone somewhere and you want to pitch your idea, like you will be pitching to us, what are some of the things that you look at? Number one, there's the issue of contracts. There's the issue of non-disclosure. Please make sure you're getting into non-disclosure agreements with your investors, with the people you're pitching to, if you can, even with your friends, people who you talk to a lot about your ideas. Please try and ensure that you have non-disclosure agreements with them. That will protect you. That will also and protect your ideas. I'm hoping that, over the duration of this course, we'll have the opportunity to go deep into the legalities, into registrations and the legal vehicles that are available for you as you want to register and the different aspects of intellectual property. Today, we're just doing a small overview. So I'm hoping, Irene, with time, we'll have time to go deep, a bit deep on these issues.
Yes, for sure.
So make sure when you're getting into your contracts, especially in tech, ensure that your contracts have a non-disclosure. They have a non-disclosure clause, and they also have a non-circumvention clause. That means after your duration and your time with whoever it is you are working with, after that, there's a way that if if they are tech people you've employed in your small company, that they cannot take some of these ideas to other companies. You need to make sure that at all times, as a tech expert, you protect your ideas. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to legal compliance, I'm hoping by now, as we are even starting this program, you've actually thought about registration of your entities. I hope we are not running around and giving our ideas names, but we haven't found a way of protecting those names. Please register your companies. You can either register it as a company or as a sole proprietorship or a limited liability partnership. Again, we will go into those details when the time comes. So please make sure that you've registered your entity, because even as you're coming to pitch, as we give you this opportunity, as Albert and team make sure that you're meeting ready investors, you also need to have taken care of the legalities. So please make sure that you've registered. And once you've registered, you do understand what are the local regulations and laws that govern the particular entity that I have registered. So you have to make sure your accounts are in order, your taxes are in order. If, for example, you are an employer, maybe let's say, yes, it's a startup, but you have 2 or 3 people working and you, please make sure you also take care of your HR laws. Irene is the expert in that. I am so glad. So that will also be addressed at that time. If you are dealing with data, which I'm assuming that you are all dealing with data because of the industry that you are in, please make sure that you have complied with the ODPP. There are new laws that were passed. Again, I repeat, guys, ignorance is not a defense. If you're caught on the wrong side of the law, you will not say, I did not know. That will not stand in a court of law. You'll definitely be held accountable. So just as we start this process, I want you to start thinking around those areas. What are the entities that you can register? What are the different ways that you need to comply? As you put your ideas on paper, please make sure whoever you're talking to, you have your NDAs in place. During this period, we're going to make sure that you have access to as much legal advice as possible. My team and I will be available for your questions. My team and I will be available to support you. This might be one of the times that you might have a wonderful opportunity of saying, I know a lawyer, I can call a lawyer, I have a lawyer on speed dial. This duration, each time your boot camp, you have that you have that very wonderful privilege of saying, let me call the lawyer who deals with my company issues. Just during this period, after we are done, you now become a client. The language changes. So please take advantage. Ask all the legal questions that you might have. Ask anything that you need to ask. We will guide you a lot on contracts, because one thing about the tech space is that there's so many contracts that you sign, 1 pages, 2 pages. So what do you look out for as a business owner? What do you look out for as a startup? What are those legalities and what are those legal concepts that you need to make sure that are always in your contract? So these are some of the things that we're going to be doing in this program. But I think I really want to reiterate that we are also interested in helping to preserve your ideas. So as an organization, we're just here to help you. You will see the contract that we'll be sharing with all of you. It's very clear on what happens to intellectual property. It's very clear on the issues of non-disclosure. So please have the confidence that you need. So when Albert was speaking, Albert said that the program will help you to actualize your ideas from paper to an actual business. Now, some of you don't even have your business on paper. It is in the air. It is just hanging somewhere in the air. So one of the things we will also do is, as we take you from paper to actual business, the legal team will make sure we take you from the air to the paper, because some of you don't have registered businesses, you've not thought about it. So we'll also take you through that. But I don't know, Irene, if there's something I have left out.
I think that's okay. So what happens, because we have different countries represented? What about those people in different countries? Will also be able to access you and get legal advice?
Yes, the beauty is that I am hoping we are all in Africa, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So despite the fact that we do have different jurisdictions and different laws that apply, depending on the country, the profit-making entities, which is what I believe most of the entrepreneurs here will be seeking to register, are very similar. a few laws change here and there. And also the beauty is I'm the principal legal counsel for Powerland Project. Powerland Project is not only limited to Kenya, we are also in other countries. So we shall be available for whatever questions or concerns that come up. The only difference will be that if they need, in the other countries, at some point where there's need for like actual registration or actual paperwork, because of being in Nairobi, Kenya, there might be those kind of limitations. But in terms of information and access and support, we are able to do that. We will be available online. Yes.
Okay. Albert, do you have anything to add?
Since we are going to be giving out tools, maybe some of the templates that will come from your side, Nyambura. Maybe contracts, yes. NDAs.
Yeah. Yes, the NDAs. We're going to have template NDAs that at least will be available. Okay, NDAs. There could be someone, Albert, who's asking what is an NDA. Non-disclosure agreements. Yes, we'll have template non-disclosure agreement. We'll also have template constitutions that can be adopted by the companies for those who want to register. Sorry, Nancy is saying she's not hearing. Am I clear?
We can hear you.
Okay. So we'll have the non-disclosure and confidentiality agreements, even contracts like basic partnership contracts. We can also come up with those where they'll be needed, but we will try ensure that we'll try ensure that whatever templates most of the entrepreneurs will need, we will definitely avail them.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It's also you see the model of Africans actually. What we do when we get someone, when I pitch an idea and I get someone who says they are very interested, they want to fund, we rush so fast and then we say we'll talk later. Papers will come later.
Yes.
So what would you advise people? Because that one has made so many startups go down.
Yeah.
Going in without paperwork, funding, and at the end of it, investors cannot keep to their end of baggage, and you have nothing to show. So how will you be able to support them to probably review their documents and that?
Yeah. The truth is, and what I have learned with experience is that serious investors and serious people who are interested in taking you to the next level are also very keen on paperwork. So most of the times when you get someone who is always now, let's rush now, give me now, no, write that document, we submit it now. Like whenever as a business person, as an entrepreneur, you find someone who is like that, you need to be very careful. You need to be very, very worried. Serious investors actually do even have the contracts. You know, they'll tell you, okay, fine, we need to do this, but we need to get into a contract. And if you propose to them that you get into a contract, they'll never tell you paperwork later, submit now. You know, so I would just like to urge all of us that sometimes I know it feels like it's super urgent, that needs to be done now, but you'd rather, and if you tell them that the reason why you're not submitting is because maybe, let's say, for example, you need to sign a non-disclosure agreement, if they're serious, they will understand. If they have good intentions, they will also understand. If they're willing to support you as a business, they will understand that needs to be done. So I'd like to encourage us that let's be very careful about the now kind of investors. You need to take a step back and think through it. Think through, is what you're losing worth, is what you're likely, is whatever you're likely to lose by not getting into the contract, is it worth that 1 day or 2 day delay? So if it takes just one day for you to get a contract, I think your investors should be able to wait. Please don't be in a hurry. Because what will happen is if you have no paperwork, if you've not trademarked, you don't have any trademark, you have no sense of ownership over even the product, then you have no legal claim. In law, you can only go to court for a legal claim if you have a legal right. As an entrepreneur and as a tech person, how do you create a legal right? By creating legal ownership. Legal ownership can be created through either registration, probably, let's say, for example, you've trademarked whatever it is that trademark, copyright, patent, whatever it is, or you've gotten into a contract. A contract also helps you to create a legal right or a legal claim. So if there's nothing legal and it is just stories, the court will not listen to you. Our courts are evidence-based. So you need to ensure there's evidence, ensure there's paper trail. They can be simple templates, they can be simple contracts, they can be simply things that are written, but make sure there's something that shows that you own the idea and it's going to be able to help you claim if something happens. Or else you wake up tomorrow and find the company you pitched to, they've adopted the idea, they have made it theirs, the product is now advertised as theirs, they probably have a bigger financial muscle, they're able to advertise almost immediately, roll it out in a week. You're still seated in your bed sitter, dreaming and just watching your idea being actualized. So take a step back and think through it. Let's not be ignorant.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have more of these talks within the program. So we'll have time to ask your questions one-on-one. If you have anything to be reviewed, it will be reviewed. So Stanley, you're asking, please, can we have access to the software development agreement template? So we are going to share the template once you register for the program. You have to register at the end. I think okay, one of the co-hosts can share the link to the program registration. Yes, you have to register for the program so that we can be able to start the process. And let me see who else had asked a question so that we can be able to, when is the 3-day kick starting? So we'll be able to share with you the September bootcamp with our partners. So please, that will be on from 23rd September. However, the program starts next week. What do I mean by next week? You register using the link that will be shared in the chats. You're going to use that to register to the program. And once you register to the program, we are going to now contact you with the program outline, because on 11th, we also have another webinar now to start the program and also to have taken you through reviewed and actually selected or graded your startups, because some of you are in ideation as I started, some of you already have startups that are already in marketplace, others have already gotten funds. So all of you we have to know where you are. So please register for the program to get the whole overview for the 2 months, and we'll share the agreement. So it will be a serious program. You have to be dedicated. That is the only thing we are asking from you. We are not asking money. We're just asking for your time and dedication in this. Just come learn. Because for me, if I had learned, I had a space where I could learn, a space where actually you all gone to schools. Who finishes schools and then the principal is calling them back to ask to give them jobs or to support them? So imagine such an opportunity you're being given. You have finished, but we are calling you because we have seen there's a gap and there's a need. Let me take you to one person. Nelly went through our program. I believe all of you have met her. She actually tutors you in entrepreneurship. Reason being, she was one of us. One of you went through the program and has gotten funding. So she'll tell you her story. So Nelly, I'll stop sharing so that you can, if you have any, please tell us what the program has done for you and what people can actually learn from this program.
Yeah, thank you so much, Irene. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, nice. So, hello everyone. I hope everyone is okay. So, as Irene has said, I was part of the pioneer cohort 1. And actually the business I'm running right now, it's because I built it as my final project at PLP. My journey or my story is I specifically joined PLP to I wanted, first of all, I had an idea, which was Zidali, but then it was all over the place. So I was trying to build a marketplace for parents to find nannies, for parents to find school drivers, for parents to find all that in one place. So I wanted to build an application, and at that time I couldn't afford any developer. So my thinking was, let me build an app, and then let me go to this school, build an app, and then put my product out there. So when I got to PLP, and we also had a business communications class. I remember that. So it was led by Mr. Chege, and he guided us on most of the business ideas that we had. So just being in the program, I decided, let me just focus on one thing that I really want to, that I think is going to be beneficial and also profitable. And I did away with the connecting nannies with parents and really, really doubled down on building an Uber for school kids, which is still serving parents. Yes, so from the program, from the PLP program, I got that idea of being focused and having, first of all, conquering one niche instead of building everything at the same time. And then the other thing for me was, the other thing for me was when we were doing our final project, when we were doing our final project, for me, it was building alone. Remember, I joined it again. I maximized on the instructors that were there. I remember asking, there was this instructor, he's still an instructor, Evans, whether doing JavaScript or whatever he was teaching is going to help me build the app. And then I realized, okay, I cannot again do everything. So I doubled down on that with Flutter, which is what the first version of Zidali was built on. That with Flutter, and then by the end of the program, I had the app, which I submitted and was picked among the best project. So through that, Susan, I think everyone knows Susan. She took us through the creation of pitch decks. We didn't even know what a pitch deck is at that time, so she took us through that. We did a lot of training on creation of pitch deck. And then during graduation, we pitched, and yes. So for me, what PLP did for me was, first of all, the mentorship I got to build an app. Remember, my idea was all over the place. The mentorship to build the business, also the mentorship to build the app, and also from my peers, because I think my project was really picking up very fast, because even me before graduation, I had paying customers. So I had a few parents here and there who were paying me. So when my peers saw that my project was really picking up, they, two of them left their project, even though they were among the best. They were also among the top 20. They left their project to come in and help me build mine. So it was Andrew and Univa. So we built the project for a year. So we worked together for 6 months before they transitioned to now other companies where they currently work. So I got my first team and they were working for free. So my peers at PLP, I also got my first funding through PLP. Albert helped me, connected me to a program called YGAP, which also really refined my business model. And yes, so me, everything, the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey, I could actually say was really, really 100% helped by PLP. And I am really glad to see such a program out in PLP. For some of us, we wish we had that because right now, even me in my company, the biggest struggle is legal. I didn't know anything about contracts, and then when you write, you don't write contracts. You just have gentleman's agreement with schools and all that. You think people are going to pay you, they don't. So when I look at the program having the legal aspect, which is actually the most expensive thing in the company right now, I am really glad that you guys are going to have that knowledge beforehand. Even as during the registration of the company, even me, for me, I started with a sole proprietor before I moved to a limited company. Yes, I think Irene, that would be it from me. Unless I get questions.
Okay, thank you, Neri. Neri, the founder of Zidali, and also our entrepreneurship instructor at our PLP program. Well done. And as you instruct these people, as you train them, please encourage them to, there's somewhere or also else that they can get help after the program. So we are here. Thank you for the work you have done, so that at least we can be able to now get these people to support. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. I think we have come to the end of the webinar. The link is in the chats. I do not have any questions. I see in the question chat. In the chats, everyone is okay. So yes, please register. I've given you the link there. We are expecting you so that next week we'll share with you all the whole process of how the 2 months will be like, and so for proper preparation, so that you are not you book your calendars, or you have somewhere to be, and who you are going to be meeting. So other than that, thank you, panelists, Albert, thank you, Nyambura, thank you, Neri, thank you, PLP team, Milgo. Milgo is in the side of talent placement. We have another program also there for a boot camp and recruitment circle that is coming up in October. So if you also still want to join that, it's open. And yes, you can check our community. You see all the announcements that we make. Other than that, thank you so much for joining us, and lovely weekend, and we hope to see you in the program. Thank you and bye.